In 2014, Édouard Louis published The End of Eddy in French, with an English translation following in 2017. The autobiographical novel chronicles Louis' transformation from Eddy Bellegueule, detailing the circumstances that prompted his name change and the adoption of a new identity. The novel received the Pierre Guénon Prize in 2014, recognized for its stand against homophobia and advocacy for equal rights. Set in a small, impoverished village in northern France, Eddy grows up amidst familial turmoil. His effeminate nature sets him apart from others, subjecting him to relentless bullying throughout his school years. Raised in a family marked by a legacy of violence, Eddy's alcoholic grandfather was known to abuse his grandmother before abandoning the family. Eddy's father, who dropped out of school to work in the local brass factory, married Eddy's mother at a young age after she became pregnant. Despite the prevalent societal pattern, Eddy remains committed to his education, finding solace in school. Witnessing his father's chronic pain from factory work, Eddy equates this suffering to his own pain inflicted by bullies. Violence, deeply ingrained in the village's men through generations, manifests in Eddy's father punching walls to divert his rage from his family. Eddy's mother, equally frustrated, vents her anger by shouting at the television. When she secures a job offering higher pay than his factory earnings, Eddy's father insists she quit, asserting his role as the family's sole provider. Sometimes, Eddy stays home from school to help his mother with chores, and she tells him stories about her difficult and painful life, which she feels she has wasted. Eddy's family is desperately poor, but he does not realize this for some time because his family is so proud about not being on government assistance. Eddy's grandmother cannot afford heat for the house, and Eddy often has to buy groceries on credit. Though he generally likes his classes, Eddy's grades in school are not good. His sister dreams of becoming a doctor or a teacher, but the guidance counselor steers her towards becoming a sales clerk instead. His family never encourages him to do homework, allowing him to roam the streets until late at night. Eddy makes friends with Aurélie, who is from a bourgeois family that encourages her academically. Jealous of her, Eddy ends the friendship when Aurélie calls his family slackers. Eddy's older cousin Sylvain, considered tough in the village, is admired by many of the boys Eddy's age. He is a petty criminal who is arrested for dealing drugs and drunk driving. While out on probation, Sylvain is arrested again for drunk driving and flees from the police. He is jailed again, where he dies after refusing treatment for cancer. This is not uncommon, as Eddy knows several other men who have ignored doctors' advice and died or become crippled. One day, Eddy views pornography with several of his friends. The boys experiment with homosexuality until they are caught by Eddy's mother, who says nothing. Eddy's cousins spread a modified version of events that make it seem as if Eddy instigated the experimentation. This leads to more severe bullying, though Eddy cannot understand why his cousins seem to be immune to it. He assumes it is because his cousins have reputations as tough guys, and so Eddy sets out to consciously make himself seem tougher. Looking back on it, he realizes that he was deluded to think it would be easy to change a fundamental part of himself. Eddy begins to go out with Laura, an unpopular girl, though he feels no arousal when kissing her. Nevertheless, he believes he is cured when he is able to achieve an erection. After Laura breaks up with him, Eddy begins dating Sabrina, who tries unsuccessfully to arouse him. Eddy breaks up with her, and Sabrina cries. The only time Eddy achieves sustained arousal is after a man rubs up against him at a concert. Finally, Eddy has a chance to leave his town behind. He has been acting in local theater productions, and his director encourages him to apply to art school. Eddy is accepted, though his father hides his acceptance letter for several days in order to torment his son. In spite of this, his father seems to approve of what Eddy is doing with his life. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.